Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Cinema View. I'm back with another horror video. Today it is on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I have so many thoughts about this movie, but before I get into it, I just want to acknowledge that I finally hit 200 subscribers. New goal achieved. So thank you so much everyone who is currently subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it, and when you guys comment and share your thoughts, it's like so cool to see all your thoughts, and yeah, I'm just like really happy about that. On to the next goal of 300 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I am making videos on horror, indie movies, award season, all of that. So make sure you're subscribed. Like this video, of course, if you like it. It really helps my videos to be seen. And let me know your thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, so I was so excited for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I'm such a huge fan of the originals. I have done a kind of review and ranking of the movies in the franchise, so I will link that as well, so make sure that you also watch that. You'll see in that video I talk quite a bit about the 1974 film and why I just love it so much. It's such an incredible film. It's such a sort of groundbreaking movie in horror. It's so original and unique, and kind of no other movie has been able to sort of match that, or at least Texas Chainsaw movies haven't been able to match that sort of original, unique flavor and distinctness. With all the Texas sequels, remakes, reboots, some were really fun, some weren't so fun, and I'm sure some are just unwatchable. And with this new one, I was sort of just hoping for it to be fun. That was really just like my main goal. Like, as long as it's enjoyable and fun, I'm down. But it wasn't like that at all. It was actually, God, dare I say, terrible. Yeah, it was kind of terrible, I have to say. The last Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to come out was in 2013, and that movie has so much sort of like hate. Like, a lot of people hate that movie. I don't hate that movie. I think it's actually quite watchable and enjoyable and not that bad. I mean, is it like a great movie? No, it's pretty bad. But within the context of these movies and sort of the sort of fun horror genre, it's okay. So this film was produced by Fede Alvarez, who I'm quite a big fan of. I love his horror movies, especially Evil Dead, which is also a remake. That is like one of my favorite horror remakes of all time. So I had quite a bit of faith in this movie because of that, even though he just produced it. Screenplay was written by somebody else, and the film was directed by David Blue Garcia. So it has all these different people involved, but one thing that you really come out thinking with this movie is just how much of a mess it is. There's nothing cohesive about the story. None of the characters are established like at all. Like, I got to the end of the movie having absolutely no feelings or emotions towards anyone in the film, which is awful, and like, that shouldn't happen in a movie that is like good. The acting in this movie is quite bad. Like, there's just nothing that sort of lands when people are speaking to each other or having scenes. Nothing really feels believable. You get these sort of little bits of story on each character, but also not really. So before I get into spoilers, if you haven't seen the film, I would just say that it is pretty bad, and unless you're like a really big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, I wouldn't recommend this at all. Like, don't even bother. But if you're interested in it, still watch it. I mean, maybe you'll like it. So now I'm going to talk more about spoilers in the film. Elsie Fisher's character has this like backstory that has to do with like a school shooting. You're supposed to, so she has like this trauma that she's already dealt with, and there's like this commentary on gun violence that it's just sort of there, but that's never really kind of explored, and you're just sort of like, okay. And then there's this other character. I don't even think I like remember any of the characters' names. That's how terrible the writing and distinguishing of characters was. So there's like this black guy who's like one of the leads, the four main leads, and he's doing something, trying to get this deed to this house. It's very confusing. There's a bit at the beginning where there's a moment where they're being stopped and he's driving, and of course it's like a commentary on that. So there's all these different little aspects where nothing is explored, so they're just like throwing these ideas, but nothing is kind of done with it. It's just there, and you're just like, okay. The movie was actually really well shot. That was like the one thing I could say about it. It was really well shot, but the only thing that was really annoying was that it was very obvious that they were like, because of like budget, could only be in like one place, which is fine, but the actual town looked like a set. It didn't look like a real town. It just looked like something that they just built. And when things were going down in the third act, there was like nobody there. Like, is that the point? Is it supposed to be like this deserted town? But even if it was, the only people that were there were the influences that had come there. Like, the whole thing did not make an inch of sense. The kills were pretty mediocre. They weren't even that good. Nobody, like, there was just lots of blood, lots of gore, which is fine. I'm a fan of gore and stuff in horror, but there was nothing exciting about any of those sequences. And then obviously they bring back Sally Hardesty from the original film. I don't know if it's just like they just saw what Halloween did and went, okay, we'll do the same thing. But I don't really feel like it made any sense for Sally to come back. Like, she could have come back without having to be like a Jamie Lee Curtis sort of insert into the franchise. They didn't need to make it like, oh yeah, like, I've been waiting 50 years to kill him. Like, literally a lot of the lines that she says are, you could easily hear the same thing in Halloween, so it was very bizarre. I don't know why they were trying to make parallels with those films, because to me those films are very different. The other main girl in the film wasn't good either. I just didn't believe any of her scenes, and the whole third act was just so bad. Like, it was so bad. Killing Sally, doing all of that about Sally coming back, and it's like this whole big thing, and she comes back and she has this gun, just to be immediately killed is so kind of offensive. Like, she is like one of the only main final girls, besides maybe like Alexandra Daddario and Jessica Biel potentially as well, but like, she is the original main final girl. So to have her have this role just to kill her off, and not even in a good way, was really awful. Like, it was terrible. And then just when you think, okay, it's over, let's move on, The ending is so bad, and honestly, the movie is bad, but the ending just makes it so much worse. So the oldest sister gets pulled out of the car as they're about to leave and gets taken by Leatherface after he's shot like several times and chopped up by a chainsaw. So how is he alive? And then Leatherface chops off her head in front of Elsie Fisher's character, and we obviously get like a recreation of the original final moment in the 1974 film, where the final girl is screaming in the car and Leatherface does his little twirl, and it's supposed to be like a nod to that moment, but it's so terribly executed. And unfortunately, like, Elsie Fisher's like acting just wasn't believable in that moment. Like, if you see that happen to your sister, you will be like devastated. Like, you will be screaming and crying your eyes out. You will be hysterical. And I just didn't get that from her. I didn't believe that from her. So the whole thing is just like this weird way of like trying to wrap everything up and do like a callback, but it's just terrible. So yeah, safe to say I really did not like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. What are your thoughts on the film? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, it really helps my video to be seen. And subscribe, of course, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.